Hey everyone, and welcome to Let's Be Real. On today's episode, we are going to be forecasting the billion-dollar potential movies of 2026. Joaquin Phoenix left a film 5 days before filming. Barbie animated film is deep in discussions by Illumination and Mattel. Live-action Minions, is that a possibility? And then we'll finish things off with the box office report for the weekend with Alien Romulus opening. So I'm obviously joined by Nayan as per usual. How are we doing, mate?
All good, man. All good. Nice and dry after this weekend.
Nayan went to the All Blacks game where it was just constantly raining, so finally dry, I presume.
Yes. Yeah. Nice and dry. Not wet at all.
Not wet at all. Nayan took inspiration from me very recently, started his own quest to get through the Game of Thrones series. Where are you up to now? Because you're flying through it.
Yep. I actually watched the final season 4 episode last night after the game.
Nice.
So now I'll kick things off with season 5 later tonight.
Season 4 is so good, eh? That's the best season.
Yeah, I think that's like peak Tyrion in terms of like acting wise, like the whole court case and everything.
That's so good, yeah.
And then like the end scene of him killing Shay and his father.
Yeah.
Peak Tyrion.
So good. I love that. But yeah, just wait. I think, you've reached the peak and it's a slow descent down now. Yeah, I think you start noticing the problems in season 5. So
still got those like good episodes like Hard Home.
yeah.
The one with the scepter blowing up, forgot its name.
Winter, Battle of the
Winter.
Bastards. You
Yeah.
even got some good episodes in 7. Yeah. But you have to borrow my 4K set for at least season 7 and 8 because you'll get that really peak quality.
Yeah, I need to actually.
Yeah.
I probably will.
Yeah. I'll give you my one so you're not streaming it or anything, wherever you're getting it from. So, yeah. As for me, I'm just watching Stranger Things. I'm starting that again because it comes next year, the final season. So I just finished season 1 today.
Nice.
Yeah, I forgot how good it was.
I'll probably end up rewatching it when season 5 comes out. It's like
Yeah.
a lead up to it.
Yeah, tie it better, yeah.
Because I've forgotten quite a bit of season 4.
Yeah, I've forgotten quite a lot of it. Like, just even in the first one, especially seasons 2 and 3, I've forgotten almost a lot of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited for next year when it does come out. It came out in 22, season 4, dude. 3 years between TV seasons. Absolutely ridiculous.
And the kids are aging.
I know. They're so young in this one. And
They're
then
going to have like grey beards and stuff like that.
by the time it ends, they might be like nearly mid-20s by the time it comes out. All right, so we're just going to get straight deep into the first topic now, and it's about the release slate for 2026. To any faithful listeners on Let's Be Real, you know that we're hyped for 2025. We know it's a big year for movies. Well, me and Nan, we love to get ahead of ourselves when it comes to the release slate, so 2026 seems even better. And I got a whole list of kind of the biggest movies here, and it kind of looks like one of the best release slates in terms of like big blockbusters opening that I've ever seen.
Yep, for sure.
It rivals stuff like 2019, 2018. You know, you had those headliners of Avengers. Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge year. But I was looking through some box office numbers, and in terms of billion-dollar movies from like that period of 2015 to 2018 or so, it was around 4, 5, or 6 billion-dollar movies. 2019, Blob had $9 billion movies. So we're going to take a look here. We're going to see if we can beat the record in 1 year of billion-dollar movies of 9. It's potential. So we'll just start off with some. Some I think are definitely going to get it. Some I think are worth a discussion. Some I just want to kind of throw it there and just see your opinion.
Like the first one.
Yeah, the first one. Just because you're an old faithful of this franchise, it is Aang, The Last Airbender. It is a sequel to the Avatar: The Last Airbender series, done by the same creators. So, potential for $1 billion there at all?
Absolutely not. I do not see that. If it makes $1 billion, I would actually be gobsmacked. Like, that is just brilliant, but I do not see it. I think, besides the actual show, the Avatar, The Last Airbender has gotten... It's not well received by the casual audience. You know, like you have The Last Airbender, M. Night Shyamalan's one, which is we will not talk about. And then you had the recent Netflix one. The recent Netflix one was okay. Like it did a lot of good fan service, but it wasn't perfect. So yeah, I think the casual audience will just be like, oh, another Last Airbender movie.
Yeah.
But us diehard fans, like we know the creators behind it and the story and everything, so we will be the ones more excited to see it. But $1 billion, definitely not.
I don't think it's going to get $1 billion. I'll say that straight up. But I think there's some potential for it to do really well. I'm just looking at the last Airbender, the one, the M. Night Shyamalan one. It opened to 40 million, and that's a pretty good opening for this franchise.
That was before everyone knew it was shit.
Well, you would have gotten reviews and all that kind of stuff, and I don't know what the marketing and release and like the trailers would have looked like, but yeah, the 40 million opening for that kind of franchise going from TV to the cinema, I think that's positive. But if it's great, if it's really, really good, yeah, I don't think it will get $1 billion, but I don't think it's entirely out of the question. But I mean, I'll just say it's releasing in January, so I have no hope there. But if there's a movie where no one ever foresaw to make $1 billion, this has something on it, but it has to be mind-blowingly good.
It actually does, and rewatchable as well.
Yeah,
is the other key.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. The next one we got is Star Wars New Jedi Order. I believe that is the Rey one.
Mm-hmm.
Takes place around 20 years after the events of Rise of Skywalker, and it's about Rey establishing a new Jedi Order. So, man, $1 billion here.
Every part of me wants to say no, but I know it's Star Wars. You know, like I can't remember what Rise of Skywalker got. I think they got $1 billion. I think did all of the new Star Wars hit $1 billion? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think it will hit $1 billion, but it's not going to be good.
You don't think it's going to be good?
No, I think no. I mean, with Star Wars, like there's no certainty. You know, it's like it's either going to be trash, serviceable, or good. Mm-hmm. And in recent years, just purely movie-wise, no TV series, it's leaned more towards the trash compared to either serviceable or good.
Yeah.
And the fact that the prequel or sequel trilogy was so mixing up and down with different visions and stuff like that, and the fact that you're having like the same main character as well, everyone will just think it's an extension of that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll be good, but $1 billion, I can see this one being there.
Yeah, I'm going to put this in the kind of mixed round. Like, I would say if I had to bet on the actual final figure, I would say it's slightly under that $1 billion. You see the results of all the Star Wars movies. I think it's like the Force Awakens got $2 billion, and then the next one got like 1.3, and the next one just barely crossed. I think it was like, $1.077 billion. So they've been trending down for a while now. I've looked at the director's resume for New Jedi Order, and they directed Miss Marvel, but in the later episodes. So, and I don't know anything else that they've done. So who knows? It could surprise. But I think in terms of a Star Wars movie reaching $1 billion now, it has to be good. People have to want to come back and revisit it. If it's trash, it's going to go down. It's going to be a sinking ship. And Star Wars has the potential to be poor on the box office front. Remember that Han Solo movie that no one asked for?
Oh, Solo.
Yeah, it got like 300 and something. I think something like that. Yeah, it was really low. So I'm going to leave it as a maybe for now. But are you locking it in?
Yeah, I'll lock it in.
You're going to lock it in, eh? Okay, I like it. I'm just noting it down just so we can see where we're at the end of this. Next one we're going to go on to is a continuation of the new DCU that starts next year. That's Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Mm-hmm. What do you think? No?
I don't think so. DC already has a bad track record. If Superman Legacy or Superman is not good next year, then I don't think so. I mean, yeah, James Gunn is behind it. I don't think any of the Guardians has hit $1 billion.
No.
Yeah. Supergirl, she is not as popular as Superman. I mean, sure, there's that recent TV series on the CW that did, would have put a bit of spotlight on it. But nah, I think this is a no. It'll probably do well. It'll do well. Like, I reckon probably around about 750 to 900. But I don't think we'll hit that $1 billion.
750 to 900 is still a lot, yeah.
Like, I think it'll be a successful movie, but definitely not that $1 billion.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. I don't think $1 billion is underway unless in some reality where Superman is amazingly good and people cannot wait to get back to the cinema again, which I don't see. It would have to be really, really good. But, Wonder Woman was like anticipated and it was good, and that still failed to get there. Did really well. It had a great run at the box office, particularly domestically. But yeah, with Supergirl, I don't see it. She's going to have to, this is the time when you introduce it. Those kind of big rewards at the box office come later down the line for the DCU. So just make the film good, and the sequel could have a shot to get there. But I don't see this being like a Captain Marvel or anything like that. So I'm going to go a no for this one as well. Next one, we move on to the infamous franchise that Nan loves. That is Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum. Assuming it makes its release date, which it appears that they're sticking with. $1 billion here.
This is very, very, very interesting.
It is,
we all know how successful Lord of the Rings was, and not just Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit too.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is the first one, Hobbit would have released about 10 years ago today. Also, yeah. So 10 years since the last live action film. I think it could get there. The fact that Peter Jackson's coming back, but it's all about the story and if it can capture the magic of the first 3 films, not so much of the Hobbit. But I think Lord of the Rings is one of those franchises where it's not a guaranteed billion, but you can easily see it getting there. So I think it's will reach $1 billion on the lower end of the billion, not the higher end.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it won't be on the higher end for sure. I might lock this in as yes for me, and I think I will allude to kind of what you were saying about the fact that there's been a good separation time between The Hobbit. I think the audience is ready for Lord of the Rings to be back on the big screen, and you return to Gollum, probably the most iconic character of the Lord of the Rings franchise, at least the most noticeable by casuals. Would you disagree with that?
I mean,
who else would be?
Sauron's up there, Frodo and Aragorn.
Frodo, in terms of name recognition.
I would say probably Sauron for me. Oh,
I don't. Is Sauron
the bad guy.
The eye. Oh yeah, no, definitely Gollum.
Yeah, but I think those 4 are like the key pillars: Aragorn, Frodo, Gollum, and Sauron.
Yeah, well, there's still no information about it. Wasn't Andy Serkis he's the director as well?
Is he?
I think I read something about that, and he's been up and down as a director, but he knows Gollum inside and out, and he knows how to play him really, really well. So
literally put him on the map.
Exactly. So I think there is potential here. I don't think it'll be as bad as the Hobbit movies. And the first Hobbit movie was fine. That made $1 billion, just scratched it. But then the next 2, they're around that 960 mark, both of the sequels. So, and those 2 movies were not good. You put in a good Lord of the Rings movie, I think it can cross $1 billion. I'm going to lock that one in.
Easy. Oh, you're locking it in?
I'm locking it in. Are you going to lock it in, or are you going to go maybe?
No, I'll lock it in.
You're going to lock it in? Oh, that's when we first lock it in. All right, next one gets interesting again. Mandalorian and Grogu, back to the Star Wars franchise.
Yes, I think this will hit $1 billion quite easily. It's had, obviously, the popularity of the TV series back in it.
Yeah.
The fact that this is going to be the final sort of content from the series. You got a lot of merch stuff. A lot of people, this will appeal to so many age ranges and the hardcore fan base and the very, very casuals.
Yeah.
The very, very casuals will probably just want to go and see Baby Yoda.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think this is 100% a lock for $1 billion.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually surprising how fast Baby Yoda became a cultural icon.
Pretty much.
So iconic. This one, a question just as a little tangent here. If this is $1 billion movie, are we going to see more shows go from streaming services to theatrical films? Would it start a new trend, do you think?
I think it will, and I think there's going to be studios that will do it for every single piece of content, which is stupid.
Yeah.
They'll just do probably 2 seasons a movie and then another season.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would understand how it actually works. With this, you've got a very popular franchise. You have a very popular fan base behind this. This entire film was, or not film, but TV series was very loved, especially the first 2 seasons.
Exactly, yeah.
And then the fact that they've committed to this being it. This is where the story ends and there's not going to be any anything else after this.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to drive people there. But I can just easily see like something like, let's go The Bear for an example.
Yeah.
Just for an example. Like
Okay.
they do like four series and then like, you know what? We'll just finish off on a movie. I don't think that would
Yeah,
work.
that would be weird.
It'll be absolutely weird.
Yeah.
Stranger Things, I think probably could have pulled it off. Game of Thrones, 100% definitely could have pulled it off.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I do agree with you. I think it will become a trend, and I think they'll all fail at it, and they'll be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this. And yeah.
Yeah, this is giving me very, if it does hit the $1 billion and studios go that way, it will give me the very, very 3D sort of vibes, you know, like how Avatar was super successful. And then every single film released in 3D and it just didn't do as well.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's going to become
And then it
a
just
new
phased
trend.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That, I think. But yeah, with this one, I'm going to lock it into, you know, we've obviously seen those leaked trailers from D23. It looks much better than we kind of anticipated. Some fancy camera work there, some cool little action set pieces they seem to be doing. I think it has everything behind it to really be successful. I don't know who's directing, and yeah, I don't know. I think that might change my mind, but obviously, yeah, I got full confidence in this at this point because when it comes to the Mandalorian and Grogu, they're the only thing that's consistent and decent in Star Wars at the moment, at least according to the fan base, because the fan base is in complete shambles right now. Like, they argue, they hate, and everything, but Mandalorian's the only thing that kind of unites that entire fandom.
And Andor, but not to a massive extent.
Yeah. Oh, the director's Jon Favreau.
Oh, so literally the same. So yeah, the $1 billion for sure.
Yeah, Jon Favreau, he's not a director that's like great or does anything fresh, but he can just hit the right beats and make it a good, fun, enjoyable movie.
And he knows his product, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like with Iron Man, he knew his product, and the first two were super successful.
Yeah, even like Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Like, I think, how much did that make? Because Jungle Book was really successful and one of the better
Live action.
live action remakes, yeah. So, I don't know. I have a lot of potential. I hope it's as good. And Jungle Book made 967 million, so...
Which is really good.
Yeah, with that Star Wars IP and the Grogu IP, even Mandalorian's iconic in his own way now. The next one, we're going to something that is still rumored, yet to be confirmed, but I have faith that it will actually become a reality sooner rather than later. That is a Christopher Nolan movie. There's a lot of details to come out before you can kind of make a good
For sure.
prediction on this, but a Nolan movie, would you lock it in for $1 billion or?
I wouldn't go as far to say a lock. Has potential. I mean, Oppenheimer came very close, and the only three films that have hit $1 billion for him is the Dark Knight trilogy, which is based off a superhero. None of his original sort of. I don't know if Rises hit the $1 billion, but I'm pretty sure. Oh, not Batman.
Rises did.
Not
Not
Batman
Begins.
Begins. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the Dark
I think
Knight
he said two.
and Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. So two. And those were not an original film. Oppenheimer came very, very close for an original, sort of original film.
Yeah.
It has the potential, depending on what he is making, who the cast is, and, you know, obviously the plot and story behind it. I would say it has potential, but I'm not going to go as far to say it's a definite lock at this stage. I mean, because Dunkirk, Tenet, Interstellar, and Oppenheimer all were like this, with Oppenheimer like being the most on the high end. If it wasn't R-rated, it might have hit $1 billion. Oppenheimer, I reckon.
Oh, I think you're right about that, eh?
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's my justification for it.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, Oppenheimer got 975 million. Only 25 million off $1 billion, which I think is just insane. You look at his other stuff. I mean, Inception got 825, Interstellar 647, and Dunkirk got over 500 million. Dunkirk, and that's right, kind of like a really slow, almost experimental, war film. So everything he does overperforms in its own right. Perhaps except the Batman trilogy. So original movies doing well these days, especially in plus 500 million, is almost unheard of. He has the power to kind of change that. I'm going to lock it in.
Oh, a lock.
I'm going to take a risk here because the power, or not the power, it's a little bit silly, but the popularity and influence of Nolan has only increased. Probably by a lot with Oppenheimer. He's more well known now. He's won an Oscar. He has a Best Picture behind him. Imagine you use that in marketing. Academy Award winner, director. So I think there is potential. Again, if he goes for something just that's kind of like low key and quiet and stuff people can't get behind, then perhaps. And I guess there's an argument that could be made that Oppenheimer overperformed because of the whole Barbenheimer movement. We can make both arguments for sure, but I think Nolan's a smart person. I think he can turn kind of anything into
Gold.
Pardon?
Gold.
Gold. Yes, I think he said cold. I was like, huh? No, he can kind of turn any kind of content and make it a theatrical experience that people want to go to the cinema for. So it's a big swing at this point, but I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say Nolan does it. If he comes out and he says I'm making a horror movie, I only want a budget of 10 million or something like silly like that, then I'm gonna say no. But we gotta take some swings in this list here, man.
All right.
This is my one. I gotta put my faith behind my favorite director.
He's your boy.
He is. All right, Toy Story 5.
100%. Without a shadow of a doubt. No explanation needed. That's a definite lock. Most popular Pixar franchise of all time. 3 and 4 hit $1 billion?
Yep.
Definitely. 100%.
And would it help if I add some context? Because Toy Story 3 made 1.06 and Toy Story 4 made 1.07.
So this is going to make 1.08. Nah, I definitely think it will.
Yeah. I think it will as well. Toy Story 5, it's just solid.
Yeah, and then it came out in 2019, TS4.
Yep.
Inflation, price has gone up. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy billion, man. Easy.
Yeah, I would lock it in for $1 billion as well. I think it's I think the story's going to be a little bit more appealing to people here. I think a lot of people came out at Toy Story 4 and was just like, oh, why are they continuing this? And I thought this ended. Oh, another Toy Story. That's weird. I thought this ended. Yeah, kind of thing. But they know the kind of story's still going, and I think they know the casual audience know that Toy Story is not going to stop now. And if you add in the thing about them going up against the rise of electronics, I think people are really going to want to see how the toys that they love, in terms of the characters, kind of go against that. So I think that's a really exciting piece, and I think other people will be on board for it as well. Then we got Dune Messiah.
This is another interesting one.
Yeah.
Because Dune 1 wasn't that successful, but it had COVID impact in it.
True.
Dune 2 was super successful.
711 million.
But didn't hit the $1 billion. If Dune Messiah is anything like Dune 2 in terms of quality, it can get very close. But I don't think it's a lock. I mean, Denis Villeneuve has not had $1 billion movie in his career. So I think maybe 850 could be the peak for it.
Yeah.
If it's of the same quality as Dune 2. But no, I can't see it. Potential's there, but for me,
So you're going with a maybe? You don't see it at all? Or the ceiling? You're locking in that ceiling at 850?
No, I don't see it at all.
Oh, oh, true. That's fair enough. I mean, I've heard weird stuff about Dune Messiah and the way that kind of story goes. I feel like Denis Villeneuve and his team will be able to adapt it in a way that's comprehensible by the movie-going audience. So I don't think that's going to be a problem with this one. But because I was going to be in the maybe zone, I think there is potential for it, but it has to be just as great and just as accessible as Dune Part 2 was. If you can do those two things, then I think, there's mad potential here. You got an all-star cast that can really promote it. I think all the building blocks are in place, but on the other side of it, I don't think it will. So at that point, I'm going to say no. I can see it, but I'm not ready to say it's a maybe at this point. We got to see more details about it and kind of just what scale they're building here. But the building blocks for the Dune universe making bank at the box office is absolutely there. But it's just, it's a no from me for now. But we'll have to see. I think it can touch 900 million.
900 is your ceiling?
I wouldn't say ceiling. The ceiling's kind of uncapped at the moment. We'll wait and see on more details. But
Okay.
I didn't think the potential for the Dune universe was this big to begin with, and I was clearly proven wrong. So who knows where it goes? Going on to a highly anticipated one now, Shrek 5.
This is an even more difficult one because all the other Shreks, they haven't crossed $1 billion. But the fact that it's been so long since Shrek 5 to 4, you know, you have all people like us that have been clamoring for it for years. And then you'll have the new generation as well. I think it could get there.
No?
I will lock it in. I think nostalgia will carry it over.
Nice.
And the popularity of Shrek will carry it over. I think this is a $1 billion movie. Where in the $1 billion? I don't know. Maybe a bit more on the lower end, between like 1.2 below.
Yeah.
But it'll join the $1 billion club for sure. Shrek is love, Shrek is life.
I'm in a complete agreement with you on this one. I am 100% locking it in. You made the point that nothing's made $1 billion, and that's because the franchise has gone downhill. But the franchise has only gotten popular with age. It's become almost its own like little cult classic at this point in time. And Shrek 2 peaked. It got 932 million in 2004.
Fuck.
Yeah, and then Shrek the Third and Shrek Forever After were not good movies, so they went down. Shrek the Third, 800 million. Shrek Forever After, 750. Shrek Forever After can make 750. Then a good or decent Shrek movie now can make at least $1 billion. I think 1.2 is where it's going to be. 1.2, 1.3. I think that Super Mario Bros. Kind of area, I think that's where Shrek 5 fits in. It has to at least be decent. If it's an abomination like Shrek Forever After, I can see it being that 800 mark. But I just don't trust DreamWorks to screw it up. They've come out
I think
great
like
with Puss in Boots.
Yeah, I was gonna touch on that. Like coming on the back of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and now this, I think they know that the property of Shrek needs to be handled well. I think they'll be able to do it justice.
100%. And Puss in Boots, I remember that now. I'm just looking into it. It had a historic run. It's one of the most like underrated box office stories of all time. It opened with 12 million and went on to make 186 million domestically, which is just insane. Like, look at the way it like drops weekend to weekend, and it's just like it gained its next weekend at plus 35 because of the word of mouth, and then it dropped 19, then it gained again, and it just dropped 18, 11, 20, like just really small chunks for like weeks on end. So yeah, I think DreamWorks have a handle on this movie. I trust them to deliver something serviceable, and serviceable Shrek 5 is 1.2 billion. If it's great, 1.5, 1.6 could contest with Inside Out for highest grossing all time.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Okay.
if it's great, like Inside Out was great. Yeah, like Shrek 2 fully. I love Shrek 2. I might watch Shrek 2 tonight. Yeah, just that's whole nostalgia bait for me. Going to one that's probably I know your answer. Avengers Doomsday.
Locked.
Even with the down the
Locked. No Avengers film has not reached $1 billion. The fact that RDJ's back, Marvel fanboys are going to froth that.
All right, next question. 2 billion.
2 billion. Infinity War and Endgame both hit 2 billion, right?
Yep, both of them did.
I don't think it will go that far. I think Infinity War and Endgame was the main reason why it hit that was because of the 10-year story building up. We haven't really had a story building up to Doomsday. It'll go very, very high in the billions, like probably 1.5 or above. But I right now I can't see it hitting that 2 billion.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, we'll have to see how the build-up is. I would say higher than what you said initially. I would say around the 1.8, 1.9 billion, because Spider-Man No Way Home came to 1.9 billion, and they didn't even have China. That would have gotten 2 billion if it had China. 1.9 billion for that. Doomsday is easily possible there.
Yeah, but that was built off like nostalgia as well.
It was, but you're going to have RDJ coming back, and we may have our own criticisms for that. Deep film people and people about MCU may criticize it, but the general audience is going to be like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. So they're all going to be like frothing it so hard. I don't know about 2 billion. Obviously, the billions and a lot. We're not going to argue about that one. But 2 billion, if it's a great movie, or even if it's a good movie, it's going to get there. I think it will get to 2 billion. But it has to be one of those like that top 10 MCU era, you know, like Endgame, Infinity War, and No Way Home are all like top 10 kind of
Could you
MCU.
almost go as far to say that from this point forward, any Avengers film could be in contention for that 2 billion?
It depends on the scale that they do it.
Like not a lock. Like we know that Avatar is a lock for definitely 1 billion and definitely 2 billion. But Avengers, do you think it can hit that status? And we had back-to-back 2 billions already with Infinity War and Endgame.
Well, if Doomsday gets 2 billion, then Secret Wars will obviously get 2 billion because it's going to be coming out the year after. It's going to be having more hype to it. And then you'll have 4 Avengers movies in the 2 billion mark. That would just be absolutely insane. And it really depends on the scale, because I think if Avengers Doomsday, they're scaled back to, you know, just a group of 6 fighting this world-ending threat. It wouldn't. It would still be around 1.6, 1.7, really high stuff. But the appeal of these movies and what MCU seems to be doing is just creating this huge, massive ensemble and extremely large scale with the Avengers movies. So as long as they keep that scale up, people are going to keep coming to that really high rate. So, yeah. Okay. Well, that one's probably the easiest lot for us at this stage.
So that was like different.
The Batman Part 2.
Did the first one get like 800 or 900?
I think it was in high 700s. 772.
And that was during COVID too. And it was 3 hours.
2022.
And was it R-rated?
That's 3 hours. I don't know.
Can't remember on the R rating.
I don't think it was, actually. I don't think I would ever allow that.
I think the 3 hours.
PG-13, yeah.
I definitely know it has a potential to hit it. I wouldn't say a lock. If the quality is as good as the first Batman, then sure, can reach that. But it depends on a lot of factors, you know, the runtime. And, you know, if there's any strikes or COVID or another virus that wants to sneak up and nerf Batman.
Monkeypox is making a comeback.
Fucking monkeys. I see it. I'll put it as a maybe. Definitely has a potential. It's Batman. He's like one of the top 3 superheroes of all time.
Yeah.
But I will not go as far to say it's a lock. Just because Matt Reeves' sort of Batman is quite niche. It's more of a truer type of Batman, the detective and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
are you saying a maybe or a no?
maybe.
For a maybe. I'm going to go a maybe as well. I think it has the potential there. When it comes to Batman, it's very interesting history at the box office, because obviously, you know, a very popular superhero, but this box office don't say that. Like, The Dark Knight got over $1 billion by 8 million, and the domestic total makes up 53%. Usually the international total is way bigger than the domestic total, and not with The Dark Knight. And Dark Knight Rises at 58% international, so it did get some kind of international recognition there with that one. But when it comes to The Batman, the Matt Reeves one, only 52% were international. So it was like almost like neck and neck in terms of that domestic and international split, which doesn't bode well for me in terms of giving it a voice of confidence to hit $1 billion. Because in that kind of case, it would need to be around 450 to 500 million domestically for it to reach $1 billion. I think it will improve because it has so much goodwill. People love it. There's a lot of anticipation for it, and I believe the marketing can be just as great as the first one was. But I think we're going to see a really high jump from 772 that the first one got, but not $1 billion. I would say, and it might be a little bit overestimating at this time, 950.
950.
I think it'll be coming in that. It'll be really close. It's really depending on how they do, and obviously if it's good. But yeah, that runtime needs to you got to trim that down.
A bit.
Yeah. And I don't think you need to. I mean, The Way of Water, Endgame, they're 3-hour movies. Like, The Way of Water is 3 hours and 15 minutes. I don't know how it made that much money, but it still did it.
Because it's Avatar.
You don't need it, yeah. But with the Batman, I think you need to go down to that 2 hour 20, 2 hour 15.
Because it's all for superheroes. It's all about rewatchability. Endgame is a rare case because you know it's capping off an entire 10-year saga.
Exactly, yeah.
So it justifies that runtime.
I can't justify Avatar's one time, though. I just...
Yeah, but Avatar has a lot more factors into the reason why it hit.
Like, family reasons? Like,
No, it's stuff like the technology, the visual effects and stuff like that. That honestly is really why it's hit $2 billion back to back.
Do we know that, though? If Fire and Ash does it,
If Fire and Ash does
we can't say that anymore.
we can't say that anymore. No, for sure. You are absolutely right. But yeah, because it's like what, 3 years since Water when Fire and Ash comes out.
Yeah, 3 years.
So obviously the technological advancement is narrower compared to like 9 years.
Yeah, because I think 2 and 3, the Avatars were made back to back. Yeah, they've shot scenes for 4, but they haven't filmed 4 or 5 yet. So yeah, there's potential. Maybe at the Batman, if it's as good as the first one, and it's 2 hours and 20 minutes, $1 billion or no. Oh, he's thinking about it.
Every part of me wants to say yes.
I know it does.
Every fiber in my being wants to say yes. But you said yes or no. I can't say maybe.
You're really locked in maybe, but...
No, depends on the villain, I think.
Joker.
If it's a Joker, then yes.
Yeah.
But if it's
Joaquin
some...
Phoenix comes in. We'll get to him soon. But
100% yes. Then, yeah, it really depends on the villain. If it's like Batman's A-tier list of villain, then probably. If it's someone lesser than that.
I keep hearing Mr. Freeze is going to be it, but
Yeah.
I would love to see Mr. Freeze.
Me too. I want to see him done right.
Yeah.
With no fucking ice puns.
I would like the ice puns. Those were really good. All right, we're going to another one. And this might be an easy one for us. It's called Hoppers. Remember that when we covered it in D23? It's about... It's a Pixar original movie. And what is it again? It's like this girl transfers her brain to a beaver to learn the secret of beavers.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, thoughts on that one. Can it reach $1 billion? He's thinking about it.
Can it? Yes. Is it a lock? No. Has potential.
There's potential. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm just going to see what they've done. Because has any original Pixar movie ever made $1 billion? I don't think it has it?
No.
They're all in the sequel territory. The closest one was Finding Nemo with 936. So immediately I'm going to say no. And it could also be a quality thing on my part because we don't know how great they are at executing original ideas as they were in the past. We've seen like the COVID streak of all the original stuff just didn't hit the beats. Yeah, really bad stuff. But judging by Inside Out 2's performance, there's clearly a demand to have Pixar back in the cinemas. They were gone for a while. Elemental restored some faith because that did really well in the end of things. But I don't see it happening. I think it can be around like a 600, 500 million movie if it's done right. Yeah.
But if it's like top tier Pixar, which is very rare.
Yeah. Well, Inside Out, the first one made 850 million. That was back in 2015 or something like that. So, yeah, even Coco made 800 million. If it's done really, really well, I can buy into the maybe side of it, but I don't think it's going to be as great as those movies. And I would say that its ceiling is 800 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to go for a no.
A no.
A no? What are you no, maybe, yes?
No.
No. Fair enough. All right, Super Mario Bros. Movie 2.
Yes. The first one was trash and it made like, what, 1.5 billion?
It made something stupid. I think it was like 1.35 though.
Something absolutely stupid. So, yeah, this will do that.
Yeah, 1.36 billion dollars. Yeah, and the movie wasn't good. It was actually bad.
It was bad, but it still reached that. Obviously, the popularity with Super Mario Bros. As well carries it. So I think this is an easy yes.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you. It's going to make $1 billion. If it's on the same quality as the first one, I think it's going to go down because audiences are going to be kind of used to seeing Mario in the cinemas now. 1.2 billion still, but yeah, it can be as shit as it needs to be or as it wants to be, and it's still going to make $1 billion. It's a money maker at this point in time. Not surprised that it's coming and coming this fast. So, yep, that is another lock for $1 billion. We got $3 billion animated movies there so far.
Oh.
Should we add Aang, The Last Airbender?
No, we're not adding that.
But we can add our used to be animated movie and Moana live action. Where do you see that one going? Is that $1 billion? He doesn't want to say yes. Every fiver.
Did you just skip one?
Nah, we'll get to that one soon.
Okay. Oh. No, but then the live action Disney stuff does so well. And the fact that Rocky's coming back too.
Moana live action.
Nah.
No?
Nah. I don't think so. Get very close. Very, very close. But it's a live action of a movie that came out less than 10 years ago.
And they do well.
Yeah.
Well, we don't really know that fast, to turn around with that.
I mean, if Mufasa hits $1 billion, then yeah, I'll change my mind and say yes.
Do you mean Moana too?
No.
Why Mufasa?
Because it's live action. Or live action.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks to that, yeah.
Then I'll say yes, but for now, no.
This one's interesting. If Moana 2 comes out of the gate and is 1.4 billion, comfortably over that $1 billion mark, I'm going to say yes because it has all that momentum from the second movie. And if it's a good movie, in addition to that, you got The Rock coming back. The Rock's, he can just pump marketing. He's really good at what he does. I would see this as a $1 billion movie pretty comfortably. If Moana 2 is clearly over that $1 billion mark, if it scrapes by or if it's around 900, then absolutely not. I think the ceiling for Moana live action is the box office total of Moana 2.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it will eclipse Moana 2. But if Moana 2 is going sky high, then what else can stop the franchise at that point? It's just a train. You can't stop it. So I'm not ready to say yes, even though I think Moana 2 will make $1 billion. But I think this can be an 800 plus pretty comfortably at this point in time. And I think, Mufasa will add some, but I'm actually going to say maybe for Moana live action because I think it has a strong potential to get there.
Right.
Yeah. You're a no on that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Still a no.
Locking it down. But if Mufasa is $1 billion again, then it's like,
what can't hit $1 billion live action?
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of the movie that's going to be the one where it's just like, okay, the $1 billion movies are back. Yep. Okay. And then we got Beyond the Spider-Verse. I just checked this one in here now because we still haven't heard anything. We're near 2025. I feel like they would want to announce it further away. Time for marketing, time for polishing things up. I feel like 2026 is the year. If it does release in 2026, $1 billion, yes or no?
No. It'll come very close again, like most of these films, but no. They're all excellent movies, but they haven't really been that great at the box office, right? I mean, what did Across make? Was it even close?
I'm getting it to it now. Into the Spider-Verse only made $384 million. And then get to the next one. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse went up to around $700 million. So,
Maybe.
it blew up, yeah.
Maybe. Oh, I'll put it down as a maybe then.
Maybe. He's going for a maybe.
It's the last Spider-Verse film. It's going to back off that amazing cliffhanger. Maybe.
Yeah. I'm actually going to say maybe as well, just because that 300 million jump from the first one, if you do that again, then you get to the $1 billion mark kind of thing.
Yeah.
The cliffhanger is going to help it a lot as long as they can market this one correctly. The only thing I would be concerned about is the split between domestic and international. Domestically, Across the Spider-Verse made $381 million, and then internationally only made like 309. So favors domestically a lot, and you cannot rely on the domestic gross for $1 billion. because they just don't do that. So the international audience has to be on board, but it's a strong maybe. It's a strong maybe. If they can market it well, I think there's a ton of momentum behind it. But yeah, they have to capitalize on it. It would have been really interesting to see if it actually released this year in March. Is it planned to?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a really strong momentum at that point in time.
Yeah, and I think like a 3-year wait is a bit too long. Everyone's going to forget about the cliffhanger or what happened in the second one.
Yeah, you're going to have to
Unle-
remind people instantly. Yeah. Really stupid to announce the back-to-back dates and
Then
delay it.
pull out, yeah.
But you're not delaying it by to the end of the year. You're delaying it by 2 years.
Well, it's delayed indefinitely.
At this point in time, it could be 27 for all we know. But yeah, really stupid to not be like, oh, wait, we cannot make this clearly. Ugh. Okay. And then the final one on here, it could be interesting. Fast X Part 2.
We know that this is a money-making machine. Fast X may not have, but we know it can make some serious cash. Mm-hmm. The fact that this is the last one.
Allegedly the last one. We'll see.
We'll say it's the last one based on what we know right now. I'm going to say a lock.
Oh, he's going for the lock. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see. It's just so hard to find the Fast and Furious numbers because they've got different names.
Yeah, because I know Fast 7 made 1.5. Mm-hmm. I think Fast 8 also hit the billion. And I think Fast 9 came very close, but it had a COVID impact.
That one definitely had a COVID impact, yeah.
But if it wasn't for COVID, it would have hit it. Mm-hmm. And then Fast X just didn't even come close.
Let me see. Because I know it's going down in America rapidly. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, the two that made $1 billion was The Fate of the Furious. The Fate of the Furious was awful. Furious 7 obviously has that sentimentality behind Paul Walker's tragic passing. But yeah, F9 was only 719, but at that point in time was amazing. And Fast X got 714. So yeah, but as the final one, if they can secure a China release date, I'm gonna put it in for a lock. I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go for a lock on this one because they'll probably focus on the China side of it a lot. I think, yeah. So that would probably be it. I want to see these results for China because they always blow my mind. They always love these shitty kind of movies.
Oh, they do, eh?
Yeah. I don't know why. Transformers, Fast and Furious, always so big there. I mean, Fast X made more in China than it did in America. F9, the same thing. They're $200 plus movies over there. So if you can get that, it can do it. But it does have to be better than Fast X. It has to have that finality feeling to it, and then it can be good. But yeah, it probably should have been a back-to-back thing, I feel, for that. So me and Anne have come to agreements on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movies to hit $1 billion in 2026. That's Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum, The Mandalorian and Grogu, Toy Story 5, Shrek 5, Avengers Doomsday, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Fast X Part 2. The maybes that we had in there was The Batman Part 2, Beyond the Spider-Verse, Moana live action, the Nolan movie that we don't know anything about, and then Star Wars New Jedi Order. Even Nan said yes for New Jedi Order. I said yes to Nolan. So that record of 2019's could be in jeopardy, I think, At least
it could.
Tie it. Yeah,
it could.
It's a huge year, right?
Mm-hmm. And more stuff could get announced.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm looking forward to 2026. It's gonna be a good one. In terms of box office, it's gonna be huge, I think. So yeah, we're gonna be back to what we were at before COVID, and the people that were doubting box office and cinema itself. 2026 will be the one where it proves you guys were wrong. I look forward to that day very, very much. But yeah, to anyone watching, be sure to head up our social medias, message us. We're not too active right now, but we still keep a lookout. We still go through it and check all the news feeds and stuff. But do reach out to us if you have any suggestions or you think we were wrong in any of this. I'd love to hear it. I love talking box office. So yeah, do give us a shout out if you heavily disagree or agree. Move on now to Joaquin Phoenix. He has a Joker 2 coming out in a couple months, something I'm really looking forward to. I want to see what they do with that movie. But Joaquin Phoenix is in a little bit of controversy right now. Not great timing because of Joker 2 coming out. But he has recently dropped out of Todd Haynes' movie. He directed May December. The movie was an NC-17. That's kind of like R18 for New Zealand, just the highest MPAA rating that you can get. A gay romance drama, which is co-starring Danny Ramirez. I think he was in Top Gun Maverick. He's in Captain America: Brave New World. But yeah, Joaquin Phoenix has left the film 5 days prior to filming. So yeah, the industry isn't taking it lightly. I've got a snippet here from the Hollywood Reporter. I'll just read out because me trying to explain it to you, like ad-libbing it, it's not going to be pleasant for either of us. But yeah, here's the snippet from Hollywood Reporter saying, an industry insider, there's been a huge amount of outrage. One studio exec, he was reacting to Phoenix's last-minute departure. It left the cast and crew in a lurch and now opens the actor to the possibility of legal action. So the departure is surprising because Phoenix was the one that brought the project and the idea to Haynes and to the longtime producers at Killer Films. Full sets were already built in Mexico. The film was already sold to distributors. So I had everything in terms of all the departments. Everybody lined up, ready to go. They got a gig. Everyone's happy that they're going to get paid for this. But the only details on why he's left is he just got cold feet prior to filming. And it's been known that he's had this beforehand. He's like, all this other information is coming out now as well. He's threatened to leave other projects before. Most recently, Napoleon. He threatened to leave that unless PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson, came in to do rewrites for it. And now this film is just dead. It's not paused because they have no intention of recasting Joaquin Phoenix. So this could blow up in a way, or it could just simmer out. But it's going to be legal action. Nan, what do you think on Joaquin Phoenix and this whole thing?
Just recast. Like, if everything's already done, just recast and then proceed with legal action. But yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, 5 days is a bit of a cunty sort of time to like pull out on filming.
I know.
Like at least like a month or so or
Yeah.
that, but like 5 days. Like he would have learned the lines for sure. Mm-hmm. But maybe he got cold feet because there was going to be another shit film like Napoleon. And he was like, oh no, I can't have my name attached to this again. So if that is the reason why he pulled out, then I can understand it. But if he just did it because his heart was no longer there, then it's just like, at least give more notice. Especially if he brought the project to this director.
That is surprising, yeah.
Yeah. But in regards to the studios and the director, I wouldn't just drop it completely. Just recast. I mean, you've already got the studio backing.
Yeah.
You already have the script, I assume. I mean, everything's already good to go. You got the sets and everything. Just find someone else.
Yeah. I think it would be a very hard role to recast because it's an NC-17 gay romance movie. Like, the amount of people that could take that role or want to do that role would be a very low amount, I presume. Yeah. That's probably why I got cold feet. Like, that's if you're not gay and you're required to film very explicit scenes in a heavily R-rated film, there's not going to be much blurring the lines of what they can do in like production versus the reality. So he would have to do some kind of sexual stuff, and I could imagine him getting cold feet from that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be surprising, but if you're the one bringing the idea and you know what this is going to be like, don't get cold feet. Like, you're the one that started it.
If it's the other way around, then sure, it's a lot more understandable.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, just think about it on like your side of the end. Like, let's say like you go to your work and you promise them like other clients gonna be there, and they make a pitch, and so they do all this work, they work overtime to get it done, and then you're like, oh wait, no, like I'm not bringing them now to like this meeting, and then they're like, but we put all this time and effort into getting it done. Like, it's a really shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
Because other people doing work and they're getting ready and they're relying on you for that. So yeah, it's like if you offer an invite to someone and then they say, like, they'll bring potato salad and you don't get any potato salad, you're let down in the end because you wanted that potato salad. You were relying on that to support everything else.
Knew you were going with that.
Okay. But yeah, no, I think we're both in agreement there. It's a shitty move from Joaquin Phoenix. I've actually heard of this being happening in other cases as well. I know Bruce Willis, he walked out on a movie halfway through filming. Like they're shooting and he's just like, nah, I'm not doing this anymore, and just leaves. Disney, it was a Disney movie, and he took him to court, and he had to start in 3 movies under his market rate. So he got paid less to do 3 Disney movies. But they actually turned out to be like good for him because I think they were like 6 cents and like other popular ones. But yeah. So there's going to be some legal action here. In addition to this, I did hear that Joaquin Phoenix is prepared to like pay like low millions just to throw them away. But yeah, that's the Joker money he's getting. But
I was about to say he's focused on the Joker franchise.
That's shitty. I just feel bad for the people that are prepared and they were excited to get working, and
even the set builders, that would have taken a lot of time.
Yeah,
and just like your work not being shown anymore.
Yeah,
which is why I said just fucking recast.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you should just recast just to save face. But yeah, I hope Joaquin Phoenix is held accountable. Like you just can't get away with this. Like something has to be done to prevent other people from doing this because actors, they can't have that much power.
Oh, exactly.
It's a balance. It's a whole team effort. It's not about them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, their faces are on front and center, right?
That is true, but there's a lot of talent out there. A lot of people not getting the opportunities that he has. So there's probably thousands, tens of thousands of people out there that would snap, would just take the job instantly if offered to them to be in a movie like this.
Oh, exactly. Recast.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Okay, moving on now. Barbie animated film. Serious potential to happen. Mattel have been having serious discussions with Illumination to develop an animated Barbie movie. We don't know if that would be just redoing the Barbie movie that we just got or just taking Barbie in an animated direction with the same kind of feel and tone to it. Who knows how this could look, but it is Illumination, so there's not much hope there. Mattel have the animation rights for Barbie, so that allows them to drift away from Warner Brothers to head to a different studio to develop this kind of movie. Mattel believe Illumination can replicate their success they had with the Mario Bros. Movie. That got like $1.36 billion. Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie are reportedly quite unhappy with how this film is coming about and how they're talking about it. And in the case of Barbie 2, hasn't been greenlit because Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, they're reluctant to return. Greta Gerwig even doubts her return just because it felt like a one project kind of film. So, Nan, would you be down for an Illumination Mattel Barbie movie?
No, we already have Barbie animated films. They're trash. So,
But Swan Lake, that's good. It's a classic.
Fucking Barbie films. Nah. I mean, Illumination, sure, they'll be able to bring their Illumination sort of visual style to it, which will be cool. But I think Barbie was lightning in a bottle. Like it had so much working for it. The fact that it was up against Oppenheimer, like those two films helped each other.
Yeah.
I think the studios are just seeing how successful Barbie was, and like we want to milk this cow for as much milk as possible, which is why they're doing it. And the fact that the 3 people that made the Barbie successful are reluctant or not happy with this is an automatic red flag, and you just shouldn't pursue with it because literally those 3 are what made it so successful.
Yeah,
the fourth one being obviously Oppenheimer. So if your core cast and your core director is saying, no, we don't want this, let's do a Barbie 2 or something like that, would you not just decide to do Barbie 2 rather than an animated film? Because both films are still, can still be directed towards children and adults. Why make it animated just for the sake of making it animated? Because you're going to dilute your product if you're going to do that. You're going to make it more kiddie friendly.
100%, yeah. And that's kind of what sold people on the concept of Barbie, is that it dealt with like real world issues and not tailored towards kids specifically. Accessible to them for sure. But yeah, I think what Barbie did well is that anyone could have watched it. Those animated movies of Barbie are tailored very heavily towards young girls. Like that's just what they exist for. And yeah, so I don't understand it, but Mattel going to Illumination for this I think it's genius work almost. Look what they did with Super Mario Bros. Like they turned that into a massive franchise. It's their highest grossing film. I think Illumination can take those IPs and make them extremely profitable. I don't think it's going to be good. I think it's actually going to be shit because Illumination only produces shit. If we're being honest, like they're all. Yeah, Illumination has a horrible track record of just the most average.
Oh, Despicable Me 1 was okay.
Yeah, but
it's
like
watchable.
Minions, Despicable Me 2, 3, Mario, Minions 2, Secret Life of Pets, Sing. I like the first Sing actually. Oh, dad. But yeah, so Illumination I think is just poor all around. So I don't think this is going to be anything good. But in terms of a business move by Mattel, it makes sense. It makes complete sense. If Warner Brothers is going to do, and I bet Warner Brothers, the studio, are trying to find a way to get Barbie 2 to happen with those two and the Greta Gerwig as well. It makes sense for Mattel to go animation route alongside its live action route. Double the profits, double the money kind of thing, you know?
That's true.
So it makes sense on their end, but in terms of will I be in the cinema opening day? Nah. I have no interest in this. I would even be happy skipping a Barbie movie by Illumination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless it's R-rated, because that would be fascinating. But yeah. I don't know. Barbie 2 though. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Me neither. Like I said, it's lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. The only way I think it can happen is if Warner Brothers focuses on a different Barbie, gets that actress, and gets like a good director behind the scenes to come and do it. Yeah. Speaking of Illumination, though, there's been some talks recently. Despicable Me 4 director was asked about a live-action Minions movie being a possibility. And yeah, the Despicable Me 4 director, Chris Renaud, he has zero plans for a live-action Minions movie. The filmmaker was recently asked in an interview if he was ever interested in seeing the Minions make the jump from animation to live action, given Disney's success with it. And he said in response to that, God, I hope not. That's my answer. I mean, if there were conversations like that, I haven't been privy to them. But for me, what defines the world is that it is animated and it allows us to get away with what we can get away with, like locking a minion in the vending machine or, blowing up Gru when he attacks Victor. They're just really cartoon ideas like what would have been in a Bugs Bunny cartoon. But man, this is people talking. Here's me just thinking about the possibilities that could await for this franchise. Live action Minions, live action Despicable Me. You on board for that?
No. We're not even on board for the animated version. Like, at least Chris Renaud has like some sense to him. He can see it. The only way that this can work if it's like some like Looney Tunes, you know, how it had like the live action sort of
blend,
thing.
yeah.
And then the blend. That's the only way I can see it possibly working. But if they're going to make a Minion live action, like realistic, like, oh God,
it'd be terrifying.
it's a horror. Like, stick to animation. Chris Renaud has it right. I'm glad he didn't agree with it and be like, oh, yes, it's a possibility, and like, wanked towards fucking Illumination and stuff like that. I'm glad he said no.
Here's a question for you, though. If they did a live-action Minions movie, what is the box office ceiling?
$1 billion.
Oh, you think so?
Well, the easy $1 billion. It's Minions. It's Despicable Me. It's guaranteed, Like, whenever someone says banana, boom, $1 billion. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh, no, that's funny. I am different to you on this one. I would love a live-action Minions movie. Not because I think it would be good, but wouldn't it just be the most fascinating thing? Like, if they announced it, like, how are you going to do this? What are they going to look like? It would almost be, like, terrifying in a way. I would just love it from an interesting point of view. And I would like to see Illumination kind of dabble in that live-action space. And to do Minions, I think it would just be absolutely hilarious. It would probably be a fun time. So I'm on board for it. Let's make it happen.
Oh, God. You're poor soul. You can go to that screen by yourself.
No, you'll be coming with me. I'll just say it's Doomsday.
Oh, shit. As in the DC villain?
Exactly. Great name for the Avengers movies. All right. We're going to move on now to the box office, which continues to just be really good. All these sentiments at the start of the year about how it's the cinema's dead is not so much dead. To the point where I've done a little bit of research on this one. So the box office, Alien Romulus, we'll start off with that one. I think it had around 6 million in previous screenings, leading to an opening day of 18 million plus. Going to be around 40 to 42 million domestically, but I'm not going to be surprised if it goes to 45, potentially to even 50 million for an opening weekend. And in terms of the worldwide opening weekend, it's going to surpass 100 million. And the budget for this movie was 80 million. So it's going to beat its budget on the first weekend. Already good to go. As for movies opening or a movie at the box office being above 40 million, there's been a movie above 40 million every single weekend since the start of June. So for nearly 3 months, it's always been over 40 million at the box office. It's a really great run at the box office right now, but Alien is going to add to it. What are your thoughts on these numbers here?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, obviously, it's like a big boost for the Alien franchise, which was coming off a really, really big low. The fact that if it can make its budget in its opening weekend means that it's going to make a lot of money for the studio, which means we might get more projects from the Alien franchise. What those projects are, who knows? Yeah, this is all just positive. Cinema is back. Actually, in fact, cinema never left.
Cinema never left. It was COVID that was here, and strikes and all that other shit. Yeah, no, this is great. It looks like Alien is at least going to make 110 domestically. I think it can go up to like 400 million worldwide in total. Worldwide, like internationally.
Which is really good.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with the budget being only at 80 million. And by the way, and I know you haven't seen it, how the hell is that an $80 million movie? It looks like 150. It's so good. We're going to go see it in IMAX.
We do.
Because I am just making jealous right now. But yeah, really well done. This is kind of how you need to do Alien. I mean, if you can do all the practical shit with an $80 million budget, just replicate this. Do the same thing again, and for the next Alien movie, like you can do it, and just continue these characters. So, yeah, all good things at the box office right now. I think though we're going to get into a very dry spell because there's just nothing interesting coming until. What is the next interesting movie? Oh, it's Beetlejuice on the start of September, which is kind of the next relevant thing.
That nostalgia bait.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to do relatively well. You got Jenna Ortega at the helm there, kind of Michael Keaton being able to carry some kind of anticipation, and they can lead it to a respectable box office gross. I don't think it's going to be massive, but it's yeah. The rest of August and the rest of September is pretty dead. I think Joker's going to start that end of year cycle where you go through some big stuff. So, yeah, Alien's got a full runway to just carve it up.
It's good. Hopefully it does.
Next big box office news, we got Deadpool and Wolverine. It became the highest grossing R-rated movie worldwide, surpassed Joker. It sits at not 1.93 billion.
I was about to say that number looks very, very wrong.
1.093 billion at the box office in total. It's continuing to go full steam ahead. At this point, we're not surprised, but you go back 4 months ago, someone told you this news, would you have been surprised?
No, because I'm pretty sure when we first did it, like our box office prediction things, we all said that this was $1 billion movie.
We were confident.
Yeah, absolutely confident. And the fact that the Joker was on the low spectrum of the $1 billion thing, it's always going to beat it. So
Yeah.
no surprises to me. What would be absolutely hilarious is if Joker 2 beats Deadpool and Wolverine. That would be just like comedic gold.
Yeah. I mean, that would be good. I think Todd Phillips congratulated the team of Deadpool and Wolverine for that movie passing Joker. He said, "We knew it was going to be big, but this is too much." Don't really know. I think he was trying to be funny and make it like a pun with that.
I think so.
Yeah. But I mean, good on Deadpool and Wolverine. I think it's a fine movie. It obviously relies on the MCU to be as great or as big as it was.
And it shows that MCU can do R-rated content.
100%, yeah. So I think Kevin Feige and the team should be happy with this result, and it shouldn't make them shy away. If a movie feels like it needs to be R-rated, then just go for it. Just do it.
100%.
Yeah, if it's good and it's marketed well, people are going to show up. And we said that in Doomsday, make it R-rated. I want Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom to just go in and kill Tony Stark's daughter.
That'd be great.
just snap her neck.
That'd be great.
Imagine that being the opening scene.
Everyone would be like, what?
Everyone would just be like, oh my gosh. Like, I just want to see him ruthless as just like kill people. I just want him to kill the MCU and then the MCU just reboots.
Or just stops.
And Agatha leads the Avengers.
Oh, move on to the next one.
Because it was Agatha all along.
Terrible. Terrible.
Okay. That will take us to the wider weekend, obviously not regarding Alien because we just covered that just before. Deadpool Wolverine is looking to make $27 million this weekend for a total of $544 million domestically. It ends with us. I don't know what I was saying there. It ends with us projected to make $24 million. I think it's only down like 52% to make $98 million domestically. It's that Blake Lively one that's kind of popping off right now. And then we got our classic Borderlands bomb. It's dropping 75% to $2.2 million for the weekend. 75%, that's insane. And it's dropping to 9th behind Inside Out 2.
It's ridiculous.
So, Nan, thoughts on these grosses for the weekend?
I think Deadpool and Wolverine could hit 30.
I hope so.
I think it could.
That'd be insane if it did.
So, yeah, I think it's a clear second. It ends with us. It's not a good film, apparently, according to credits. So,
Have you seen it? Oh.
No,
just Chris, yeah.
according to credits.
Mm-hmm.
So, why is this so popular? I think it's literally Blake Lively and her relationship with Ryan Reynolds is what's carrying this film.
I think there's some controversy behind it, but I have heard good stuff, just not from critics.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's one I'll get to eventually, some point in my life.
We kind of have to now, don't we?
Yeah.
It's 56%. Yeah, the audience score is 92%. So.
Yeah. So it's nice to see like an original film doing super well. Because it's very, very rare nowadays.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Borderlands, just take it out of cinemas now. What's the point? Just chuck it straight on streaming. You might make more. Like, this is the biggest bomb I've ever seen.
Yeah, ever seen?
I've ever seen.
I don't know. The Marvels was pretty horrific.
No, what? 8 million opening weekend, and it like twisted. What was it? Twisters or Inside Out beat it?
With Twisters, yeah.
Like ridiculous.
Inside Out will beat it now, bro. That movie
Yeah.
came out started
And
June.
and the fact that it's now 9th and you're gonna make less than a film that came out 2 months ago. God, get this out of cinemas. You ain't making no fucking money. You ain't making your money back. You can't pay you need to like take a loan to pay out the actors. So take an L on this one. Chuck it onto physical media or streaming or whatever you
They
need
got to
to.
keep it in there because they spent $30 million on marketing.
Where I've seen shit all.
You should have, $30 million is really low for it, especially for a movie this caliber. But they should have just chucked it on streaming.
Yeah.
Just sold it to a streaming platform because I think it's Lionsgate. And you would have saved money. You would have saved money by not
Releasing it.
in cinemas because you have to pay for marketing to release in cinemas and stuff. So it's at 16.5 million worldwide.
Stupid.
In New Zealand, it's made 65. It's made less than my salary. $65,000. Oh, come on, New Zealand. Let's stop seeing it. But it's a movie that I might have to watch because it's in at 10%. I think that's just going to be a laugh.
It's a me movie.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's going to cap things off with us on the box office side of things and the podcast in general. That is the end of our episode of Let's Be Real today. We hope that you have enjoyed us talking about movies and everything that's happening. It's been a slow news week. I think, Comic-Con, D23 has kind of sucked all the big announcements that are coming in the near future. So it is going to be a little bit dead and dry, I think, for the next month or so. But me and Nan will keep things covered as we usually do. We'll do some fun stuff, lists, tiers perhaps, some games, all that good stuff that we usually do on this potty. We'll continue to keep figuring out where we're going and what we're doing, and we'll keep you updated along the way. But for now, it's just audio, so make sure that you follow us on Spotify or any podcast platform. Make sure to hit the bell, give us a 5-star rating if you think we deserve it, and then keep up to date with everything that we do.
If you don't think we deserve it, then
Just give us a 4-star rating at least.
yeah.
Otherwise, people, we will hear from you next time. Keep bringing the hype. Peace.
Catch you later.